Hey guys, I'm actually going to do a video response to tech this time. Sometimes I don't always do that. And this is a video response to another person's video response to Chris Pirillo, and the topic was why Linux will never sell on the desktop. And this was by ShoeStringingIt, and that's the name of the guy. I loved his video topic and stuff, and I even subscribed. He's got some other videos, but he's really only got 3 he made himself, and I hope he makes more like this, just because I just like responding to videos like this, by the way. So let's go ahead and listen what he kind of states here for a minute, and then we'll go from there.
Ubuntu Linux. The reason why I'm going ahead and do this video response to Chris Pirillo is because he recently did a video discussing, pretty much in a nutshell, basically saying that the Linux desktop was not a viable replacement or permanent replacement for the Windows platform or the Mac OS platform.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. Well, let me give you my my experience with Linux. So some of you guys may or may not know, and for Shoestring, did I say that right? Yeah, I'll just call him Shoestring for short. I've been using Linux for about going on 17 years now, and I use it about 80% of the time then, and 20% Windows, and at one time Linux entirely 100%. Till I went to Mac, and now it's the opposite. I use Mac about 80% of the time, Linux 20% of the time in a virtual machine. So I want to give you a rundown. I know Linux quite well, and I think what Chris Pirillo is saying is it's not a viable solution for the average user. Now, for geeks and nerds or whatever like us, definitely yes. And even for some professionals as well. Now, so yeah, because you got to think the average user, which ends up being toward Windows, it does have to be easy to use. Hardware needs to be supported out a lot of times out of the box, or install the drivers and have it work. And so, yeah, in those instances, Linux wouldn't work. Now, you also made a comment on Linux definitely wouldn't be for like grandma, or even mother, sister, brother, mom or pop or whatever. It all depends what they do, really, and even it depends on what computer would work for them as well. If grandma, for instance, 90% of what she does is in a web browser, then Linux would be an ideal situation for her to use. And I even know people who set up their computers for their in-law, grandparents, or whatever. Initially they had to kind of set the programs and stuff, and maybe tweak it for them. And after that, often they don't even pay attention whether it's Linux, Windows, or whatever, as long as it works for them. So in those instances, yes, it actually worked for grandma or grandpa in that instance. And you're right, there are instances where Linux is behind. I do agree with you on the audio side. Linux is, even for pro audio, like Ardor, which is a kind of a Pro Tools Linux version, and for years, it's the audio side, the third-party software has always been great. I do agree with you also on not having great video editing capability. And that's why one of the reasons I had to switch to a Mac, because the video aspect wasn't that great. Now, at least yet, now there are some very promising software, and I'll give you an example. It's called Lightworks, which is available for Windows. Now it's supposed to be it was supposed to be available for Mac and Linux at during the winter of last year. But they stated on their website that they would it wasn't quite ready. They thought it wasn't ready yet, so they decided to wait, and they're going to release it sometime this year. Hopefully this third quarter of this year. Now, Lightworks is actually a pro video editor, and it can even upload support like ProRes, some of the Sony and Canon codecs, so multicam editing and various other things like that. So look toward that. I think that's what you're looking for there, stringing it. So yeah, that's my video response.